If you're struggling with poor circulation, chances are you've already been down a frustrating road. You've tried pill after pill, supplement after supplement, each one promising miracles and delivering absolutely nothing. Cold feet, heavy legs, numbness, fatigue, still there. And after a while, you start wondering whether circulation problems are just something you have to live with as you get older. Here's the uncomfortable truth no one tells you. The supplement industry is overflowing with products that look impressive, but do almost nothing for real vascular health. Colorful labels, long ingredient lists, tiny doses, and zero meaningful results. Most of those multivitamin blends are so underdosed that, for circulation purposes, you might as well be flushing your money straight down the drain. Your body doesn't need 20 different vitamins sprinkled together in microscopic amounts. It doesn't need trendy plant extracts or proprietary blends that hide weak formulas. What it needs, what your legs are begging for, right now are 3 very specific compounds, taken in the right forms, at the right dosages, and at the right times. Today, I'm cutting through all the noise. I'm going to show you the only 3 vitamins that actually matter for dramatically improving leg circulation. Not guesses. Not hype. These are backed by real physiological mechanisms that directly affect blood flow. I'll tell you exactly which forms work, how much you need, and what mistakes to avoid. And make sure you stay with me all the way through because the 3rd vitamin is a complete game, but only if you take it at a very specific time of day. Miss that one detail, and its benefits drop dramatically. Let's begin with the foundation. The internal cleanup crew. Vitamin number 1. Niacin, vitamin B3. The cleanup crew? Poor circulation almost always comes down to 2 core problems: constricted blood vessels and thick, sluggish blood. When your vessels narrow and your blood becomes sticky, everything slows down. Oxygen struggles to reach your legs. Nutrients T arrive where they're needed. Waste products build up. That's when your feet feel cold, your calves feel heavy, and walking starts to feel exhausting for no clear reason. Niacin tackles both of these problems head on. This is why I call it the cleanup crew. It doesn't mask symptoms, it directly improves the environment inside your blood vessels, so flow can happen again. But here's where most people get it wrong. They glance at their multivitamin label, see vitamin B3, and assume they're covered. They're not. The tiny amounts found in standard supplements are designed only to prevent deficiency, not to restore circulation. For real vascular benefits, you need a therapeutic dose, and the correct form matters more than almost anything else. The only form that works: flushing niacin, nicotinic acid. If you're serious about improving circulation, you must use flushing niacin, also known as nicotinic acid. This is the form most people avoid. That's exactly why it works. When you take flushing niacin, you may experience temporary warmth, redness, or tingling in the face, neck, or upper chest. This is called the niacin flush, and while it can feel uncomfortable at first, it's actually a sign that the compound is doing exactly what it's supposed to do: rapidly opening tiny blood vessels and capillaries. There are non-flushing versions on the market, like inositol hexamide. They're popular because they avoid discomfort, but they also avoid results for improving circulation and blood flow in the legs. These forms simply don't deliver the same immediate and powerful vas. If you want dramatic improvement, you have to accept the flush. Dosage: start low. Build smart. Niacin is powerful, so it needs to be respected. Start with 250 milligrams once daily, taken with a meal. Food helps buffer the flush and makes the experience more tolerable. Stay at this dose for about 2 weeks. If you're retolerating it while meaning the flushing is mild and temporary, you can increase to 500 milligrams once daily. For many people, this is the sweet spot for circulation support. Do not increase beyond this without medical supervision. And if you have liver issues, diabetes, or take cholesterol or blood pressure medications, speak with your physician before starting therapeutic dose niacin. Monitoring liver enzymes may be recommended Even when blood vessels are opened and blood is flowing more freely, circulation can still struggle if the vessels themselves have lost their flexibility. This is one of the most overlooked reasons circulation declines with age. Over time, blood vessels don't just narrow, they harden. They lose their elasticity, they stop responding smoothly to changes in pressure. And when that happens, blood flow to the legs becomes inefficient no matter how hard the heart works. That's where the second vitamin comes in. I call it the flexibility fixer. Vitamin number 2, vitamin K2, MK7, the flexibility fixer. Imagine a brand new rubber hose. It bends easily, adapts to pressure, and allows water to move freely. Now imagine an old plastic pipe that's been left in the sun for years, rigid, brittle, and cracked. That's what happens to your blood vessels as you age, especially if your diet has been low in the right nutrients. Vitamin K2 is one of the few compounds proven to address this problem directly. But here's a critical detail. K2 is not the same as K1. They are completely different when it comes to circulation. The only effective form, vitamin K K -7 vitamin K1, is abundant in leafy greens and helps with blood clotting. It's important, but it does almost nothing for arterial flexibility. Vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 menaquinone A7 form, is what targets blood vessels and soft tissues. MK27 is superior because it has a long half-life, meaning it stays active in your bloodstream for many hours. This allows it to work continuously throughout the day instead of wearing off quickly. If the label does not say K2MK7, it's not what you're looking for. Correct dosage. Small number, massive impact. Vitamin K2 works at microgram levels, not milligrams. The effective daily dose is 100 to 300 micrograms. This is a tiny amount by weight, but incredibly powerful biologically. Always double check the label so you don't confuse micrograms with milligrams. Taking too much offers no added benefit and isn't recommended. Because K2 is fat soluble, it should always be taken with a meal that contains some healthy fat. This dramatically improves absorption. Why K2 is so powerful. The calcium traffic cup. This is where things get fascinating. Calcium is essential for bones and teeth, but it becomes dangerous when it ends up in the wrong place. With age and modern diets, calcium often begins depositing in soft tissues, including the walls of your arteries. When that happens, vessels stiffen and harden. Blood flow becomes restricted. Pressure increases. Circulation suffers. This process is known as arterial calcification, and it's one of the biggest enemies of healthy leg circulation. Vitamin K2's job is to stop this and reverse it. Activating matrix glycoprotein, MGPK2, activates a protein called matrix glycoprotein, MG. Think of MGP as a biological cleanup system. Once activated by K2, it hunts down calcium that doesn't belong in your artery walls, binds to it, and removes it from soft tissue. That calcium isn't wasted, it's redirected back into bones, where it actually strengthens skeletal structure. The result is profound. Arteries become softer, more elastic, and more responsive. Blood can move with less resistance. Pressure stabilizes, and circulation to the legs improves in a way that no simple vasodilator can accomplish alone. Natural sources versus supplements. K2 is found naturally in fermented foods, especially natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish. Unfortunately, most people find natto nearly impossible to eat, both in taste and texture. For that reason, supplementation is the most practical and reliable way to reach therapeutic levels of MK7 consistently. Why K2 matters for long-term results? Niacin works fast. Vitamin C works daily. But vitamin K2 works over time. It doesn't just improve today. As circulation, it rebuilds the system so circulation stays strong tomorrow, next month, and next year. This is why people who take K to consistently notice their circulation becomes more stable, less reactive, and far less prone to coldness or heaviness in the legs. K2. Summary: vitamin K2, MK7, is the flexibility fixer. It removes hardening calcium from artery walls. It restores youthful elasticity to blood vessels. It supports long-term circulation resilience. Dosage: 100 to 300 mcg daily form. K2M, K7. Timing: with food containing fat, we've cleaned the pipes. We've restored flexibility with K2. Now comes the final and most misunderstood piece, the signal that tells blood vessels when to open, how long to stay open, and when to respond instantly to your body's needs. This final vitamin only works if you take it at the right time of day. Up to this point, we've focused on structure and flow. We've widened the vessels, cleaned up the blood, and restored flexibility to aging arteries. But none of that matters if the body lacks the signal that tells blood vessels when to open and how long to stay open. That signal is nitric oxide. And the vitamin that makes nitric oxide possible is the third and final key in the circulation trinity. Vitamin number 3, vitamin C. The opening signal. Vitamin C is one of the most underestimated circulation nutrients on the planet. Most people associate it only with immune support, completely unaware that without adequate vitamin C, the body cannot properly maintain the lining of blood vessels, the very structure responsible for regulating blood flow. This lining is called the endothelium, and it acts as the command center for circulation. If the endothelium is weak, damaged, or undernourished, blood vessels lose their ability to relax efficiently. That's when circulation becomes inconsistent, especially in the legs. Vitamin C restores that command system. The right form matters at high doses. Standard ascorbic acid can be harsh on the stomach. For circulation support, you need a form that's both gentle and highly absorbed. The two best options are buffered vitamin C, combined with minerals like calcium or magnesium, which reduces acidity, liposomal vitamin C, where the vitamin is encased in tiny fat bubbles. Thanks so much for watching! If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on living a healthier, more vibrant life. See you in the next one!